Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're going to completely change the way you look at the natural world around you. Seriously, when you walk through a garden or forest, you might just see leaves, stems, and flowers. But what you are actually walking through is a network of highly complex, solar-powered chemical factories. These biological factories, medicinal plants, have been quietly manufacturing the very foundations of our modern healthcare system for literally millennia. I want you to think about the last time you reached for a pill. Maybe to cure a headache, soothe a stomach ache, or fight off an infection. It's so easy to picture those pills being assembled in a sterile, modern laboratory, right? But did you know your medicine cabinet is actually kind of an extension of a garden? It's true. We really need to rethink the origins of the everyday medicines we rely on because a massive portion of them didn't start in a test tube at all. They started in the soil. Get this, in developed countries today, an astonishing 25% of all pharmaceutical drugs originate from plant-derived compounds. That's 1 in 4. Classic examples are right under our noses. Take aspirin, arguably one of the most common household drugs in the world. Its original lead compound was isolated directly from the bark of the willow tree. Or quinine, the absolutely vital anti-malarial drug which comes from the cinchona tree. Okay, let's dive into this. Here's our roadmap for today. 1. The global herbal pharmacy. 2. Pakistan's medicinal wealth. 3. Classifying nature's cures. 4. The chemistry of healing. 5. Plant life cycles. And 6. The threat of extinction. Section 1. The global herbal pharmacy, a world reliant on roots. Right now, there are approximately 2,500 plant species being actively traded in international markets. This isn't just a niche, alternative thing. We're talking about a foundational pillar of global health. What's really fascinating is how different parts of the world actually utilize this wealth. In developed nations, we often isolate single active ingredients from these plants to create highly targeted synthetic drugs, which is where that 25% figure comes from. But in rapidly developing and densely populated nations like China and India, the approach is entirely different. Up to 80% of the population there relies on traditional, synergistic herbal medicine systems, think Ayurveda and traditional Chinese medicine, for their primary healthcare. They use the whole plant, taking advantage of how multiple compounds work together to improve efficacy and, interestingly, actually reduce side effects. Section 2. Pakistan's medicinal wealth, a case study in biodiversity. Pakistan makes for a genuinely brilliant case study here because of its incredibly varied agroclimatic conditions, stretching everywhere from arid zones all the way up to high alpine regions. The sheer volume of biodiversity is staggering. Out of about 6,000 plant species in Pakistan, roughly 600 to 700 are recognized for their medicinal value. You have hotspots like Hazara and Kashmir boasting hundreds of medicinally important species. However, there's a deeply alarming reality mixed in with this data. Regions like Kashmir are showing 200 threatened species, and Chitral has 150. We are sitting on a treasure trove that is, unfortunately, simultaneously at great risk. So, how does this traditional knowledge actually stay alive and reach the people who need it day to day? Well, it's through an incredible, informal local market system known as the Panzara system. Panzari shops are essentially traditional pharmacies. They act as the vital bridge linking rural collectors who are out there harvesting the plants from the wild straight to urban consumers and traditional healers. It's a grassroots supply chain that provides affordable, accessible healthcare to millions. Section 3. Classifying nature's cures. Understanding usage. With literally thousands of medicinal plants out there, science organizes this massive natural pharmacy into functional categories based on how we actually use them. First, you have your strictly medicinal plants, used directly to treat diseases thanks to their potent bioactive compounds. Then we have culinary plants. Think of this as food as medicine. A great example is mint. You might toss it in a dish for flavor, but it's actually actively aiding your digestion and providing a cooling effect. Third are aromatic plants, like lavender, packed with essential oils used in perfumery and aromatherapy for calming effects. And finally, ornamental plants. We grow them because they look beautiful, but many, like roses, also offer minor medicinal benefits, like skin-soothing antioxidants, meaning, yeah, your Valentine's bouquet is technically a mild anti-inflammatory. Section 4. The chemistry of healing. Active constituents. What actually makes these plants medicinal at a microscopic level are their secondary metabolites. These are the active chemical constituents they produce. Take astringents, for example. Plants like raspberry contain tannins. Tannins bind to proteins and cause your tissues to physically contract, which is exactly why they are amazing for stopping bleeding or treating minor wounds. Or consider the bitters. Plants like senna contain alkaloids and saponins. When those bitter compounds hit your taste receptors, they stimulate a massive release of gastric juices, making them incredibly powerful digestive aids and laxatives. It's literally just pure, brilliant chemistry dictating exactly what a plant does to the human body. Section 5. Plant Life Cycles. The Timeline of Growth. These natural factories don't just pump out their compounds overnight. A plant's lifespan is absolutely crucial for farmers and healers because it dictates exactly when we have to harvest them to get the most potent medicine. Annuals, like basil, complete their entire life in one quick season. They grow fast and throw all their energy into their seeds, meaning you get a quick, consistent turnover. Biennials, like caraway, take 2 years, and the timing here is everything. In year 1, they store all their medicinal carbohydrates and alkaloids down in their roots. So if you want the root, you harvest year 1. But if you want the seeds, you gotta wait for year 2 when it flowers. Finally, perennials, like aloe vera and mint, live for many years, developing deep root systems and providing us with a long-term, highly stable, continuous yield of medicinal compounds. Section 6. The Threat of Extinction. A Sustainable Future. Now, we need to face a pretty harsh ecological reality. The brutal truth is that we are pushing many of these invaluable medicinal species toward extinction, and the pressures are just immense. The vast majority of these plants are still gathered straight from the wild, leading to unregulated overharvesting. People are often pulling up the roots and killing the whole plant. Combine that with rapid deforestation, habitat fragmentation, and a severe lack of organized agricultural cultivation. Plus, many local collectors simply don't have the training to harvest sustainably. They pull up immature plants, entirely destroying the ability of the species to regenerate. So the crucial takeaway here is that the core solution to this crisis requires a total paradigm shift. As the experts note, there is a critical need to shift from wild collection to organized cultivation. The future of our medicinal plants relies entirely on moving towards sustainable farming, integrated with proper scientific research, and way better training for local communities. We really have to start farming our medicine, not just foraging it. Which leaves us with a final, profound question to ponder. Will we protect the roots of our modern medicine? Nature has spent millions of years perfecting these biological chemical factories, providing us with everything from aspirin to powerful digestive aids. But if we don't change our relationship with these plants from extraction to cultivation, the world's most ancient pharmacy might just close its doors forever. Thank you for joining me on this explainer, and I really hope you never look at a garden the same way again.